Congratulations to pound for pound number one, Terence "Bud" Crawford, for winning in spectacular fashion by TKO against the highly skilled Special Kell Brook. Tonight, Bud displayed to the world why he's the pound for pound king, showing that he's more than just a boxer. He's also one of the hardest punchers in the sport of boxing, pound for pound as well. This was a spectacular performance, and Crawford finished it off with a bang against one of the best in the world, Kell Brook, who's known for having an iron chin. Even Gennady Golovkin, who's known for his devastating power at middleweight, he couldn't even finish Kell Brook in the fashion that Terence Crawford was able to do so tonight. It's fair to say that Terence Crawford was able to stop Kell Brook in a more brutal fashion than both Gennady Golovkin and Errol Spence did, which is a huge statement to say the least. However, a lot of people is going to put in consideration how much was left in Kell Brook tonight. But mind you, Kell Brook, leading up to this fight, he made it clear that he's in the best prime shape of his life. According to Kell Brook, he stated that he's in a better shape than he was for both the Porter and the Errol Spence fight. And the fact that he had 3 victories since the Errol Spence lost, Kell Brook had a lot of confidence coming into this fight. It's also important to mention that Kell Brook took this fight not because of money. He took it because of legacy. We know that due to the fact that he took this fight for a pay cut. For the longest, Kell Brook been calling out Terence Crawford, and he got exactly what he been asking for because Bud gave him all of the smoke that he could handle. It's also important to mention that Kell Brook is only 34 years old, and Bud, on the other hand, he's 33, so there isn't that much of an age gap. Coming into this fight, this was supposed to be Terence Crawford's toughest fight till this date. That's why it's highly impressive what Crawford did tonight. To demolish a highly skilled welterweight at this level in a knockout fashion is rare to see in the sport of boxing. From the first bell, it was clear as day that Kell Brook brought his A game with him. In fact, Kell Brook managed to win the first 2 rounds, and it seemed like it was Teofimo versus Lomachenko all over again. There's no secret, 2020, it's been a crazy year so far, and it seemed like we were heading in a direction of an upset yet again. However, Crawford displayed to the world what separates him from the rest. He have the it factor, which is making adjustments on the fly. In the first 2 rounds, Terence Crawford was calculating his range. In the meantime, Kell Brook was scoring accurately with his jab. There's no secret, Kell Brook possesses a lot of great arsenals in his toolbox, such as a sharp 1-2, a dangerous check hook, and a devastating uppercut. On top of all of that, he has great timing as well, which made Terence Crawford very hesitant early on as he was calculating Kell Brook. So in the first 2 rounds, Kell Brook looked better than ever. He was extremely sharp. However, as soon as Terence Crawford switched to that southpaw stand, he automatically took Kell Brook's best weapon away, which was his jab. From that point forward, Kell Brook had a hard time finding Terence Crawford, at least with his jab, which is exactly when the shift changed, because in the 3rd round, Terence Crawford had way more success than he actually did in the previous rounds. However, up to that point, we were in a real fight. We had a real fight on our hands. However, out of nowhere in the 4th round, Terence Crawford found an opening as soon as Kell Brook led with the right hand, I believe, and he countered it with a short, sharp jab that hurt Kell Brook more than he ever been hurt before, which is extremely shocking to see, knowing the fact that Kell Brook has a great iron chin. However, that's what makes Terence Crawford extremely special. Even though he's not one of the biggest welterweights in the world today, he possesses dynamites on both of his hands, on top of his elite level boxing skills. So as soon as Terence managed to hurt Kell Brook with a short, sharp jab, in which it had Kell Brook stumbling to the ropes, that was near the end for Kell Brook, knowing the fact that Bud has that killer instinct in his arsenal. Therefore, after Kell Brook touched the canvas while he was stumbling backwards, Crawford followed up by throwing power punches in which Kell Brook took him blindsided. However, the fact that Kell Brook touched the canvas, that saved him for a little bit longer. He got a standing 8 count, and after that, Terence Crawford went for the kill, finishing Kell Brook in the process, in which the referee automatically stopped the fight due to the fact that Kell Brook was taking power punches while looking away. He was not even facing Terence Crawford. He did not see most of them power punches he got hit with. That's why the referee automatically stopped the fight. So in my books, that was a great stoppage, because if the referee didn't stop the fight at that point, Kell Brook would have had been knocked out in a devastating fashion. So the referee made the great call there. Obviously, at the point of the stoppage, Kell Brook, he really didn't even know what took place. And I don't blame him, because I didn't even know what took place. It was a split second in which Terence Crawford capitalized on and finished Kell Brook with a bang, proving to the world that he's the pound-for-pound king in the sport of boxing, as he have been for the longest, ever since both Floyd Mayweather and Andre Ward retired and passed the torch to now the pound-for-pound king, Bud Crawford. So hopefully, this is a wake-up call for ESPN, for them to stop wasting their time to invest in fighters on the hope list, erasing their losses like they did to Lomachenko, and focus on the real talent, Terence Crawford, because this is the pound-for-pound king right now. He deserves all the praise. So the million-dollar question, who is going to be willing to fight Terence Crawford next? And also, will Terence Crawford leave ESPN to go to PBC in order to make the biggest fights in boxing, in order to submit his legacy as a great in the sport of boxing? He's already a Hall of Famer. However, the fights against Keith Thurman, Porter, and obviously, last but not least, matter of fact, the most important fight of the decade, Errol Spence. That's exactly what we are going to discuss on Blow by Blow, episode 6 tonight. So call in, tune in. I found it funny, before the fight, Bob Arum was pretty much shitting on Terence Crawford since they had a dispute leading up to the Kell Brook fight. But now all of a sudden, Bob Arum, after the fight, he's praising Terence Crawford like he should have been praising Bud from the jump. You do not want Bud to jump off the top-ranked ship like Floyd Mayweather did. And that's what Bob Arum started to realize. With that being stated, join me tonight. We're going to talk about the fight of the decade between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Furthermore, I'm interested to hear the fans' take on the devastating KO. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below if you're trying to get smart about a minute. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't. And listen to these decafs, the dumb, casual-ass fans / old media that don't know shit about boxing. Word to Roger Mayweather, may he rest in peace, inshallah. Click on the notification bell if you want to get notified every time I post or go live, and to be continued on the next episode of AKHi TV. Peace, and we out here.